G'day, punters. Back for week 3. Is this week 3 or week 4 of the weigh-in?
Week 3, I think.
No, actually, I think this is week 4 because...
Is it?
I'm going with week 4. I think we've lasted 4 weeks, so that's a good effort by us.
Yeah, well, it's exceeded all expectations, BJ, but hello to you. Hello, everyone. Good to be back aboard. What are we even reviewing? Rosehill?
We're talking about Rosehill. We're going to talk a little bit about your tip, Zaki, and the Cox Plate. I wish I had took your advice.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit excited about my ticket there in the Cox Plate on the back of that Doomben Cup win. I mean, I haven't seen a Group 1 win like that since Winks.
I don't know if Winks would have got close to him on Saturday. I don't know if any horse would have got close to him. He went like a jumbo jet.
He went incredible. Yeah, proper horse. Could be up there with Very Elegant as the best weight for age horse in Australia. Time will tell, but I mean, you don't win Group 1s like that unless you're a serious horse, and he's only going to improve. Like this is his first preparation in Australia, so exciting times. Well done to Annabelle Neesham. She's a fantastic trainer. Her second Group 1, and J-Mac. It's going to be interesting what he does in the spring if he sticks with Very or jumps on Zaki.
What do you think? Which way will he go?
I think he'll stick with Very Elegant. I mean, the association's been there for a long period of time, and she's given him plenty. So I think he'd have a soft spot for her.
I'm going the other way. I think he can't get off that horse after that win. If he can reproduce anything like that in the spring, he'll start favourite in that Cox Plate for sure.
Yep, agreed. Exciting animal.
Let's get stuck in because you're at Kembla calling the race.
I am. Yep, we'll give you a look at the track before we get into things. Here we are. Beautiful day down here. You wouldn't be anywhere else. So we've had a couple of races and, yeah, just settling in for an afternoon here, BJ.
All right, well, let's punch this out so you can get back to it. The first of the day at Rosehill was the Tab Highway over 1,200 metres. They went 6 lengths slower than the benchmark 78. I know you guys had Brett Kavanagh on the radio earlier in the week saying Patino Ruby was a certainty over 1,100 metres, but the last 50 metres was going to be the problem to her chances. But it turned out that way, didn't it?
It did. She had a little bit of company up front. I thought she was very brave the way she fought on. Look, her run was fine. I backed Monterey Czar in this race. Thought he had a bit of a tough run, but he only had 52 on his back, so can't be too disappointed with his effort. The winner was just too good, I think. More Sundays, I was on him as well. He's a frustrating horse. He's just got no tactical speed at all. I thought he was satisfactory in the straight, but it might be the end of the road for me with More Sundays.
Yeah, More Sundays. The market really liked him. I think they probably thought that he could settle a couple of pairs handier from the good gate. He was $6 into $3.80, but he was good running on, but he's forever doing that. As you said, Monterey Czar didn't have much luck, could be followed out of the race. And wherever Patino Ruby goes, I would like to be following her. The second race of the day was a 2-year-old over 1,300 metres. Overmanned was well liked in the market. The damage was done on Thursday, 310 into $2.60 and starts $2.30. And too good for them, Luke.
Exactly, Blake. Not much to say about the Breton Brigade. It was the best horse. It got put in the perfect spot by Tommy. He cuddled him into the straight. He did hang in a little bit, but he was quite dominant on the line, this horse, and he's always been one of mine. So I think there's more wins in store, but to what level he gets to, I'm not too sure. I could be forgiving of a horse like Greater Harlem there. He drew the outside. He got back to last. Don't think the tempo was ideal for him. And his run, although beaten 4.5 lengths, I think he's a horse that could come back next preparation and improve.
Yeah, no doubt. He looks a horse of the future. I think Volcanic Rock can be followed through the race. He was first up off 15 weeks and he really didn't shirk his task. So Volcanic Rock for me to follow out of that race. The third race was a benchmark 72. They went 3 lengths slower than the 88 won by Kerwin's Lane on the day. I was on Mensa Missile. He got pestered by Born a Warrior. Nobody expected him to go forward and to take up the running.
No, it was a surprise. I think he just jumped so well. Andrew drew out. He decided to roll forward. He knocked up. I've got a horse to follow out of this. Why Falls. He was first up here. I thought he was a very good run, fresh up. He jumped brilliantly. Always a good sign when a horse, particularly fresh, just jumps and wants to be there. So he was restrained from that after that good start from the draw. But I like the way he hit the line, and I could follow him. Smart mate of mine tipped me this winner, and I had something small on Charlize. It was strong late. The Melbourne form, it doesn't always work in Sydney, but it did on this occasion, BJ.
Nice one, mate. Yeah, she was a Phillies and Mare 78 back to a 72. So going back through the form, she was easy enough to find. She was well placed in a race like this. The fourth race was a 78. Time was comparable to Mirror Vision. I Am Power got the better of Ramstein and Blondo. I would have to say that Blondo was one of the better runs of the day, Luke.
It was a good run, Blake. I don't want to get too carried away with him. I expected probably more. I didn't have a bet in the race, but I probably expected more off that dominant win at Gosford. I know he was probably out of his comfort zone a little bit. The ride on the second horse from Abdallah was a beauty. He got going at the right time. He got them chasing. He stretched the field out and nearly pinched this race. I thought it was a fabulous ride in defeat. But I Am Power was able to turn the tables on Blondo with the weight swing, a little bit more fitness, and we know he was pocketed by Blondo. We actually identified him on this show out of that race at Gosford as a horse that could potentially improve. Mark Newnham, just a freak. I mean, second up off 700 odd days, and he gets the job done. So I think he's a horse that can win again this winter time. Blondo, I'm just not sure where I'm at on the back of that race.
Yeah, he had the best closing sectionals of the meeting, so I'm not going to drop off him. I Am Power. The concern was whether he was going to back up that first up run off that such a long spell. He did that. I thought there was a couple of sneaky runs back in the field. These horses got off the bit and were never in it. Charatira had better closing sectionals than the winner, so he can be followed out of the race up to 1,400 metres. And quite right, was well liked by the market, and his closing sectionals were okay after he got back from a really wide draw.
I'm glad you brought the times up because I haven't looked at the times yet. So that's got me interested because I do think the ride on Ramstein, Brenton sprinted up at the right time, probably made it impossible for some horses back in the field. So based on those sectionals, maybe I've got to be a little bit forgiving.
Yeah, be a bit forgiving of Blondo, I would suggest. And yeah, those horses, the market might miss them next time, Charatira and Quite Right. So look out for them when they're next in the nominations. Race 5 was a BM 78 over 1,200 metres. Mirror Vision was really well liked by the market, 13 into $6.50, and she was too good for them first up.
Yep, she was well found by those punters who back Mirror Vision. I think she's a horse that certainly can be competitive in these types of races during these winter months. Hellenism's always been a mare with talent, and she was good in defeat there. I think there's a race in her. I backed Cafe Royal here. I thought she was a little bit disappointing after leading. One horse I do think can improve out of the race is Sarah. She's only got a 200-metre sprint, that horse, and she was wide and exposed from about the 500. That's not suitable for her. So if she draws a softer gate, I think that she could improve off that run. But it's a mare's race where, there's not much between a lot of these horses. It comes down to who gets the best run on the day, etc. So, not a race I'm too hot on going forward.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm keen to forgive Sarah. As you said, she had a tough run. I think Starla's the one to follow out of the race for me. She didn't have the clearest path home, and she had some of the best closing sectionals of the day. So she'll be winning a race very soon. The sixth race of the day was a benchmark 72 over 2,000 metres. They went 3 lengths slower than the black type race on the day, won by Polly Gray. Rebel Rama blew plenty of punters out of the quaddie here, Luke.
It blew me out because I was so sick afterwards. I got tipped this and I didn't listen. So, yeah, it was a race where I was pulling its tail a bit. Good ride from Michaela Weir. You know, she put something on Facebook too. Didn't think she'd be sighted in town again when she came out of her apprenticeship, but she gave this a good ride, and it won well. Quiet Michael was also well ridden in the third spot, not taking too much away from it. Blake, I think Good Omens in time is a staying prospect, but these are your second, third, even fourth tier type horses. I mean, a lot of these, they won't be sighted in town after their 3-year-old season.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a terrific ride by Michaela. She just saved all the ground, got the gaps at the right time, and the ride won the race. Good Omens didn't have the best of luck. Can be followed into the future. I'm not sure where he gets to, but he's got a race in him soon enough. The 7th race of the day was the feature, the Lord Mayor's Cup. As I said, they went 3 lengths faster than Rebel Rama. Polly Gray, she is having a terrific preparation.
Absolutely airborne. I thought Parry Sound had her at the furlong with the weight pull loomed up, all of that, but she was too tough and flying. Stockman, you could argue, honestly nearly should have won. Was caught behind a roadblock at the 600. Wouldn't have shot the leaders with a cannon. And for it to get beat 2.5 lengths or 2.2 lengths, I thought it was a very good run. There's a 2,400 metre race in 2 weeks. I think it's the Winter Cup. Follow him in that, punters. I think if the track's wet, that won't worry him. He runs 2,400 and he can improve, particularly with a senior on, I think.
No doubt. He's the horse to follow out of that race. He was outstanding closing. $21 about him in that race. So hopefully the market misses him. I'm sure plenty of punters would have seen it, but we might be able to get a price about him in that 2,400 metre race you're talking about. The 8th race of the day was the Benchmark 88, won by, lost me spot,
Kerwin's Lane.
Yeah, Brenton Abdallah was pretty keen on him in the radio. I heard him talking. Sharp improvement shown from the race at Hawkesbury.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a contest, was it? They slowed down so much mid-race that Ellsberg was just jogging along in front and Kerwin's Lane had his back. And when they straightened, they sprinted. And all those horses behind were just scrambling. They couldn't possibly get into the race. I mean, when do you see a 7.5 length margin between the second and third horses in a metropolitan race?
They absolutely pennelled the third horse. Yeah, you're right.
Amazing. I'm not sure what that means. I think it's because of the slowdown mid-race. And maybe it isn't a great sign for those behind. I had something on opacity here. I'd be prepared to forgive. I think he can improve. The first 2 have gone well. But there's a few behind that can find their right races. Arch Anna, just forget it went round. Maybe not one of Tommy's best. He had an opportunity to come back and get in, but he rolled forward. And I can see why he did that because of the tempo. And she got posted 3 wide, 4 wide round the turn. So you could be forgiving of her and others in that race. But it's just a weird one with that margin. I'm not sure what it means.
Yeah, I think the Quinella can definitely go on and win more races this preparation. They're both early in their preparation. Ellsberg's destined for better. He was terrific. Kerwin's Lane, terrific ride by Brenton Abdallah. Thought Betcha Flying was pretty good first up, ducking through late to grab 5th. She can be followed. She always improves from her first up run, but not really anything that I want to be too keen on. If they find the right race, they can definitely be winners coming out of that race. I had something on opacity as well. The race just didn't set up for him, and he'll probably peak at his third up run from a spell. But yeah, I think Betcha Flying for me. The last of the day was the only 1,800 metre race of the day. It was a Benchmark 78, and Maruberiz was really well supported. $12 into $7.50. Tommy Berry from Barrier 3, he was too good for them.
He was completely dominant. Mubariz or Mavariz. How many did Tommy ride on Saturday? 2 or 3? Or I think he's had a good day.
Sherry rode 2.
Yeah.
Tommy Berry
might have rode. He might have rode 3.
He rode 3 last week. I'm not sure how many he rode on Saturday, but he at least rode 1, 2.
Yeah. No, he's absolutely flying, and it was too good. I thought La Grisa returned well there. First up at 1,800 metres, she always puts in a good run fresh, and particularly early in her preparation, she seems to race well. So there could be a race in her, but an even bunch of horses in this last race of the day, Blakey.
Yeah, I thought La Grisa was pretty good running on. She was really good doing her best work across the line. I thought Carp Fever was one that we can follow into the future as well. He was not bad, and Trevest, he had absolutely no luck from the wide draw. He was 4 and 5 deep, and he can easily be forgiven. What was the horse to follow out of the meeting, mate?
I hadn't really had a good think about that. But why don't you give me yours first, and I'll just reflect here, and then I'll come up with something for you.
Well, I'm going to be back in Sala wherever she goes next start. I know you were pretty keen on Stockman. Is he the horse you think?
Yeah.
I think he can be winning in the next few weeks?
Yep. I'll give you Stockman in race 7. And the other one I liked was out of race 3, Wairiri Falls. I think there's a race in him, maybe a couple of races in him this winter.
All right, sounds good, mate. We'll let you get back to calling at Kembla Grange. Hopefully you can find a few winners and do a good job as you always do.
Hopefully we don't stuff anything up, Blake. Good to be with you on the way in again, and good luck, punters.
No worries, mate. Enjoy the day.
See you guys.